My name's Christopher Laporto, and I play in a band called Can't Swim. I grew up on the Jersey Shore in a really small town called Keansburg. My parents had me pretty young. They were teenagers when I was born, and we lived across the water in Brooklyn, New York. Tiny apartments and gridlock traffic wasn't their ideal vision for raising a family, so they left the city and moved out to this little beach town. I look back now and I realize how much of a risk that was, leaving their families behind to go start one of their own. I often wonder how different my life would be if they never took that leap. They were fortunate enough to find a cheap house to put a down payment on. The place was an absolute wreck, but my dad spent weeks and weeks fixing it up and made sure the roof wouldn't cave in on us. There were no doors on the bedrooms, the washer dryer would always catch on fire, and the floor was so slanted if you put a glass on top of a table, it would slide off. But it was home. Living there taught me at a very young age that it's not what you have, but it's who you have around you.
I haven't been here in a long time. I didn't expect it to be so fucked up looking.
Hurricane Sandy hit this town pretty hard. Many people lost their houses in the storm, and so many of my friends have now moved away. I think sometimes we all take for granted having a roof over our head and food on the table. It's kind of like that old saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone. But walking around a house where I spent my entire childhood and seeing it destroyed really makes that saying ring true. There wasn't much to do around here growing up, so I took an interest in music. My school didn't offer any type of program, and none of my friends had instruments, so it was hard for me to start playing. My mom always wanted to be a drummer, so she bought me a drum kit when I was a teenager and really pushed me to learn how to play. Suffering over hours and hours of me slamming on the drums in that tiny house, or coming to see me in countless bands that she hated. There was no one that was as supportive as her. Almost failing out of high school, not having $1 in my pocket, and playing shows around the country to 5 people every night. She still always gave me the confidence to pursue music. She was the very first person I showed a Can't Swim song to, and it's still my motivation to work hard at this band. Never really cared for anyone in my life, but I couldn't care more about her. Can't Swim started as the 4 of us: Danny, Greg, Mike, and myself. We've been lucky enough to witness over the last year something we started as a goof flourish into a full-time commitment, where we get to create music together and travel around the world playing our songs. And although it's been great, something always felt like it was missing. Andrea is a breath of fresh air. We've been friends for years now, and I've always thought of her as an incredible musician and a lovely human being. They say in rock and roll, the drummer is the backbone of the band. And though she's barely 5 feet tall, she has a massive presence behind the drum set. She's like the sister I never had, and the final puzzle piece of Can't Swim.